Greetings. My name is Chantella Raynor, and welcome to Iwa Kitchen. So I wanted to just formally welcome you to the channel, and I wanted to start you off with talking about some kitchen essentials today. So yes, this is a cooking show, but in order to cook, you need proper tools, right? Because the tools that you use while you're cooking are going to make the process much easier. It's going to make it more enjoyable, and you're going to be able to make some really fabulous dishes. So today I have in front of me not all the tools. It's not an exhaustive list of what you would be using, but this is going to be pretty much your foundation. So what do you need when you're starting to cook for yourself, when you're, desiring to really embark on this journey? These are the things that I use pretty much every single day. So that starts with pans. Pans, you must have pans, different kinds of pans. Even if you only have one type of pan, I know when I was in college, I had maybe more something like this one, just like a stainless steel pan, and I did all of my cooking on that, and it was fine. But also a baking dish like this one that is glass, or you could have a metal one as well. And then like a loaf pan, you can upgrade to that if you're starting to make things like breads and loaves. But pans are absolutely essential because you can do a lot of one dish recipes in there. They're great for food prep. You can make larger quantities, and it's just really nice to have some pans on hand. Next thing you're going to need, of course, are utensils, cooking utensils. So this is, of course, not the only ones that you'll probably see me use, but these are the pretty much the most common ones that I use every day. A nice big, like mixing spoon. You're going to use this when you are, stirring things up in your pot. Also, you can use spoons like this to serve with. And then, of course, a spatula, because that's what you're going to use to, flip things that you're sauteing or frying, or also it could also be used to serve as well if you need something like in a deep dish like this where you're going to be scooping it out. So definitely invest in some good serving or cooking utensils that will make your life a lot easier. Now, when it comes to prep, you're also going to need things like this. These are going to come in handy when you start cooking things from scratch, like when you're needing to wash vegetables and fruits. So these are strainers, and this one is a retractable one, which I really like because it stores easy because it collapses down. And what you do with these is that you put your fruits and vegetables that need to be washed in them, and the strainer or the basket part of it lets the water go through. So it just makes for easy, washing when you're needing to wash things off, instead of trying to sit there and wash things off with your hands under the faucet. Now, two of my favorite parts of my favorite tools in the kitchen are parchment paper and aluminum foil. Parchment paper is your friend. It is your friend because it makes cleanup a breeze, especially when you're dealing with, your stainless steel or glass pans. All you do is you tear off a sheet of this. You can either cut it down to size to fit inside of your pan or crumple it up. You'll see me do that in a lot of recipes if you want to just do it really quickly. So it fits down inside, and you put your food in there to cook, and it cooks, and then you don't have to worry about cleaning up a big mess out of the pot or the pan that gets stuck to it because the parchment paper will basically catch everything. So parchment paper, if you're not using parchment paper yet, you have to start using it because it'll just make cleaning up a lot easier. Aluminum foil, I know there's a lot of controversy about aluminum foil. I also too use aluminum foil consciously. We don't want aluminum to be touching our food, right? Because, you don't want heavy metals in our food, but aluminum foil is a great heat conductor. So it's great if you need to cover like an awkward dish, like this dish did not come with a heat safe cover. Neither did this dish. But sometimes you're cooking things that need to be covered, so that the top doesn't dry out, so things don't, overcook. So aluminum foil is a great way to create a cover for something that doesn't have a cover. So the way that I the way that I kind of finagle that, the hack that I have, because I don't want the aluminum to touch my food, is to use parchment paper on top of the dish. Then I cover it with aluminum foil. And that allows me to have that, that ready-made cover, but, also keep it food safe. So that's how I get over the aluminum thing, but then I also get to reap the benefits of its great uses in the kitchen. I also like aluminum foil. Use it in the same way if I want to like make little packets, like if I want to like poach something, or if I want to make a small little container that I don't really need to keep. You can also use aluminum foil to do that. It's just very versatile. You can use aluminum foil for so much that you probably didn't even realize that you'll see on this channel. Now, speaking of vessels to put our food in, we talked about pans, but now let's talk about pots. I definitely suggest you having at least like a medium-sized kind of sauce pot for you to make things in, and then a relatively large size, like a stock pot. This one is about 20 cups, this large one. And I believe that this one is about 6 cups or 8 cups. And it also has a nice little steamer, area on the lid. But these two pots at least are going to allow you to make, big soups, stews, and then this one, you can do some of your boiling of like rice and things, smaller quantities of things. It's good to have the two different sizes because you want to be able to make, more volume if you want to of those things that are going to be more liquid. So definitely at least have two sizes in your kitchen. Next thing, in the same vein of vessels, you absolutely need some mixing bowls. So mixing bowls of different sizes. These two are from a set that actually has about 14 different bowls. But if I'm honest, I only use this bowl and the bowls that are around this size every single day. The other bowls, you can use for mixing smaller things, but definitely a larger bowl like this will allow you to do like your batters and doughs. You can do that in there. This one is good for mixing, like if you're going to mix something a little bit smaller. But having some good mixing bowls, especially ones that come with lids. These actually come with lids. I don't have it. I don't have it with me now, but even ones that come with a lid on the top are great because it adds to storage as well. So you can mix and you can store in these. Now, one thing that is super important that I didn't actually bring out, that is absolutely essential, is a good chef's knife, a nice sharp chef's knife, because this is going to be what you're using to prep all your things. So when you're cutting your vegetables, you want something that's nice and sharp, because if you've ever cut anything with a dull knife, you probably know that it's more work on your hand. So definitely invest in one that's sharp, and even invest in a sharpener, one that's easy to use so you can maintain it. You usually don't have to sharpen it that often if you're taking care of your knife, but yeah, a nice good weighted chef's knife is essential for cooking. In the same vein of cutting and chopping, I also recommend a blender and a food processor. Now this is a little bit more advanced, but it is, but it isn't, because I think that everybody should have a blender and a food processor. These were the two things that I bought for myself, not these two in particular, but a blender and a food processor are two of the first things I bought for myself when I started cooking. And they changed my life. They changed how I cook. So I really highly suggest that you invest in a good quality blender and food processor. Why? Because blenders allow you to, just puree and liquefy things so easily, especially like if you have a high power blender. These are both Vitamix. And a food processor just makes chopping and prepping things that you need to like chop down small or even slice, because a lot of food processors come with other attachments that help you with slicing and grating and things like that. Things that, if you did it by hand, it'd be a little workout. So yes, food processors and blenders just really help with just cutting down on that prep time. If you don't need to do something by hand, then yeah. So definitely invest in those if you are able. But you don't, of course, need those two things. But if you have a cutting board and your knife, your knife is they're basically gonna replace your knife. So yeah, so this is pretty much the foundation of the kitchen essentials that I recommend to get you started. So yeah, so once you have your kitchen set up that way, then we'll be able to get cooking together. All right, I'll see you in the next episode of Iwa Kitchen.